Assalamu alaikum everybody, Sam back again with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about brokers. Before we get started, guys, make sure to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. And more specifically, we're going to talk about why I switched from a regulated broker and why I went to an unregulated broker. So simply put, right, I used to trade back when I first started trading, right? I heard about regulated and unregulated brokers. I was doing the research myself. I was looking at YouTube videos and everything. And I saw a lot of these guys that were trading, they were trading through unregulated brokers. Okay, but the thing was, I didn't know if these guys were scammers or not. You know, like Daniel Savage, Withdrawal, two banks, all these guys were trading with unregulated brokers. I had no idea if these guys were scammers. I have no idea if these guys are legit. And honestly, to this day, I really have no idea if these guys are legit or not, right? But I knew that they were trading with unregulated brokers. And so I didn't want to trade with unregulated brokers myself because personally, just the thought of not being regulated, it just didn't set right with me. And I know that that's a common theme, especially being from the US, guys. Our Forex laws, or at least I'm from the US. I don't know if you're from the US and you're watching this, but our laws when it comes to foreign exchange are really strict, right? So we have to be capped at 50x leverage. We can't really, there's a FIFO rule, I think it's called, first in, first out. So, I can't do hedging. I can't do a lot of stuff, right? And so a lot of times being regulated is so expensive and there's so many regulations to comply with that a lot of brokerages just don't care about that. So they don't even want to be regulated with the US, right? Because it's so much work to deal with, it's so much time, so much money, so much resources. So they're like, screw it, we're just not going to be regulated. And because of this, and because of the fact that US regulations are so strict, that you are left with only a couple of options when it comes to regulated brokers that you can use in the US as a US citizen. And so I've tried every single broker out there. I've tried IG, I've tried Forex.com, I've tried Lambda. And one of the reasons why very recently, actually, in the last 6 months or so, I want to say, I switched from using a regulated broker to an unregulated broker was because regulated brokers just suck, right? There is that sense of safety behind it, but if you actually look at the terms and conditions, there's no guarantee of anything. So if the broker shuts down and you have $100,000 in your account, right, you've lost that $100,000. There's no like insurance or anything, right? And that was the main thing that was keeping me as a regular broker or trading with a regular broker, because I just thought, well, at least, in the worst case scenario, if something happens to your brokerage, right? That's the biggest fear you have. I have money in the brokerage, at least my money will be safe. And that's not the case, right? If you put your money in a bank, let's say you put $2,000 and the bank shuts down, your bank money, the money in your bank is federally insured, right? Up to $250,000. So up to $250,000, if the bank shuts down, doesn't matter, you'll get your $250,000 or less, whatever value it is, as long as it's less than $250,000 back, right? So your money is safe in the bank, correct? But it doesn't work that way with brokerages, which I thought to be crazy, because it's like, why are you regulated then? So if the brokerage shuts down, then you're essentially screwed. The only other option is, hopefully, if Oanda shuts down, let's say hypothetically, hopefully Forex.com takes over Oanda, right? And if it takes over Oanda, it takes over its clients, so the money is fine, right? But otherwise, you're screwed. So, and again, I might be wrong on this, guys, but from my research, that's what I found. And so that really kind of like steered me away from regular brokers. But the main thing was, I was like, okay, whatever, like I'm already still trading on a regular broker. I don't feel like withdrawing all the money and going to a different brokerage and anything, right? The main thing was really that the spreads and commissions that you have to pay through regulated brokerages absolutely suck. I was paying so much money at one point through commissions when I went from day trading to scalping, that I kid you not when I say that I was making like 5, 6, 8, 10% a month, right, in profit. And then afterwards, when I took the commission out, I kid you not, swear to God, July, it was a month, I made 8% profit. Okay, the commissions were took from my account. This was day trading too, not even scalping. So after making 8% in a month from day trading alone, right? Because day trading has higher pips, which means lower lot size, which means lower commissions, right? I ended up in profit 2%. Think about the first 6% of my account was lost simply due to commissions. It was so astonishing to me, right? And if you don't, so I'll even show you guys right now, right? If you don't want to trade through commissions, right, a lot of these brokerages offer spread-only accounts. The difficulty with spread-only accounts is the fact that their spreads are abysmal. Look at this, guys, right over here. Odd CAD, 2.6 pip spread. Odd JPY, 2.5 pip spread. This is Oanda, guys, so regular brokers. CAD JPY, 3.9 pip spread. Let's go to Euro Odd, 4.4. Euro CAD, 3.7. Euro GBP, 1.4, right? Euro JPY, 1.8. All of these spreads were so massive. I mean, Euro USD, one of the most liquid pairs. As you guys know, the more liquid the pair is, right, the better the spread is going to be, right? Look at that. Euro USD 1.5 pip spread. Are you kidding me right now? So not only am I paying a insanely, and back then I used to trade with a lot more pairs. I was trading probably like 18, 20-ish pairs, right? And I was day trading. So I was trading with a lot of pairs. So although, spreads really don't matter to you when you're a swing trader, but as a day trader, as a scalper, spreads matter a lot, right? Because that's the difference between you hitting a 2-hour trade and a 1.5-hour trade, right? But anyways, I was trading so many pairs, but all these pairs one day randomly, I kid you not, randomly, bam, spread gets jacked up. I'm like, what? What's going on? Right? So I called up Amanda. I was like, yo, my spreads just got jacked up like 2 pips every single trade, right? GBP NZD, I kid you not. GBP NZD used to have a 3-pip spread when I first started trading. And that was the thing, right? I was trading with a regulated broker, so I knew these spreads at the back of my hand, right? 3-pip spread, now it's a 6.6. GBP JPY used to be floating between 2 and 2.5, right? Now it's 4.2. So all the pairs that I used to trade with are suddenly shooting up in spread. Let's see, is AUD USD here? Right, 1.2, right? This used to be at 0.5, 0.6, right? So all of the pairs I used to trade, their spreads just shot up randomly one day out of the blue. Oanda didn't warn me about it. Oanda didn't tell me about it randomly. I just opened up Forex.com. I opened up my MetaTrader 4 one day, and my spreads have shot up. And I'm like, what? Right? And then I thought it was just a single day, but then a couple of weeks go by, spreads are the same. I call up Oanda. I'm like, hey, what's happened? And they're like, oh yeah, our spreads increased. I was like, why did you warn me about this? Right? So after that, I decided to go to a commission account, right? So before I was only trading spreads. So it was a spread only account. The only fees I had to pay was a spread. Now it was a commission account. So now I had a much lower spreads, but I had to pay commission. And then that's where the issue arose when I told you about when I made 8% in a month. But after commissions, it was only 2% because they were charging $10 per lot. $10 per lot, guys. Think about that. So not only was I paying still high spreads, but I was also paying $10 per lot in commissions. And this I saw throughout all the other regulated brokers. IG, Forex.com had the same exact issue, right? And I traded with every single brokerage, regulated or not, regulated brokerage. And then eventually I was like, screw it. Like if I want to become a profitable day trader, I have to trade in an unregulated broker. That's like the only way. Because unregulated brokers, right, they are very, very cheap. Let's look at the facts, right? They give you a lot of leverage, then they're very cheap, right? They have amazing spreads and they have low commissions, right? I mean, I'll pull up Hanke Trade right now. Hanke Trade is a brokerage I recently started to trade with. I traded with LiquidFX as well. LiquidFX was really good, but Hanke Trade's commissions are slow. This is Hanke Trade, guys. Look, it's not focusing, but if you look at the spread, maybe if I go back a little, okay, if you look at the spread, there's AU and Euro USD, right? The only two pairs I trade. Look at that spread, 0.1 pips. 0.2 pips, 0.1 pips. Like it fluctuates between AU fluctuates between 0.1 and 0.4, and normally speaking, it's only 0.1 and 0.2, and EU goes from 0.1 to 0.2, and normally it's just 0.1. Incredibly low spreads. Not only that, but commissions $2 per lot, a fifth, 20% of the cost of lending. It was a no-brainer to me, right? So now if I make 8% in a month, my commissions after paying commissions, after paying everything, all the fees, I'm still up 7%. It's crazy, right? Before I was making 8% and I was only up 2% for the month. 2% is peanuts, guys. 2% does nothing for you. If I'm trading on $100,000 account, my profit went from 8K. I lost $6,000 in commissions through Oanda. Now I'm only losing $1,000. And guess what, guys? $1,000 still sucks. It's a lot of money to be paying, but it's better than paying $6,000. Okay, and not only that, but it's still better because of the fact that I'm scalping. So I'm gonna have higher lot size. It sucks, guys, but I have to deal with it. It's just the price of day trading, though, of the style of trading I do. Right, guys? Excuse me. But yeah, so that's why I started I went to unregulated brokerage, because the regulated brokerages, guys, they were just terrible. Right? The spreads were incredibly high, the commissions were incredibly high. It just sucked. And also withdrawal. Let me talk about withdrawal. Oh my god, guys. Orlando, randomly, again, they changed their withdrawal things, and it was so weird. I tried withdrawing money from Amanda, and they were like, I tried depositing money, sorry. And they were like, no, the card that you did is invalid, when it wasn't invalid. It was perfectly fine, right? My debit card. And I just called them up and they were like, oh yeah, our policy's changed. And so now you can't deposit from that. I was like, okay. So now I have to go through the entire process. So it took like 2 weeks now between adding a new card and actually depositing money because of the way just Orlando was working. And then to withdraw the money, I recently wanted to take all the money from Orlando because I wanted to put it all into the brokerage I now use, which is Hanke Trade, right? Withdrawing the money took so much time because now they were like, oh, where that card that you used, you can only withdraw the money to the card that you used. But before, they told me that I can't use that card anymore to deposit or withdraw. So now the card that I use to deposit money. I could deposit or withdraw from, but that was the only card that I could use to withdraw from. And I was like, what are you guys saying? And then here was the funny part. I deposited $1,000 from one card and the rest of my money from the other card, right? So the initial card I used that they told me I can't use anymore, right? That had $1,000. So they told me I can't withdraw any of my money at all until I withdraw the $1,000 first. But they also told me I can't even use that card to withdraw. So I had to fight with them for over a month, guys. A month, calling them every single day, telling me, hey, like, this is my money. You told me I can't use the card, so now I can't withdraw from it. But let me just do wire transfer. And they were like, no, since you put the money through the card, you have to take the money out from the card as well. So I couldn't even use the wire transfer. You see how insane it was? It took me a month, guys, dealing with their useless BS just to get my own money out. My own money out of the brokerage. They were playing with me on my withdrawal, guys. And nobody plays with my money, guys, right? The biggest thing about day trading is what? The withdrawals, right? You want the withdrawals, right? Because otherwise you're not getting money in your bank account. And they were halting that for a month. Imagine you want your money right now. You have bills to pay. And they're like, sorry, gonna take a month. Sorry, you have to do this. But our regulations tell you can't do that, but you still have to do it anyways. It made zero sense to me. And that's what I had to deal with. So now I'm trading with Hanke Trade, guys. Hanke Trade, again, really great. Really, really great brokerage in my opinion. I really like it. If I go to Hanke Trade really quick right now, as you guys can see, right here, 500x max leverage, 0 pip minimum spreads, $2 commission per 100K lot. I mean, this is the cheapest, this is the best brokerage I could find, guys. This is why I'm trading with it. As you guys can see, like, look at the spread. USD JPY 0.03, GBP. Look, guys, come on. I mean, it's right there in front of you. GBP JPY, what does that say? 0.04, right? GBP JPY and ONO. Let's find it real quick right now, right? 4.2. The spread on Wando is literally 10x the spread that GBP JPY is on Hanke Trade. Right? Think about the first thing. Euro USD, 0 pip spread. It's not actually 0 pips, guys. I don't know why it says that. It's like 0.1, 0.2. But still, Euro USD. Let's go quickly find that. Right? On Wando, 1.5. 15x larger than what it is on Hanke Trade. Right? And again, really cool thing about Hanke Trade, is that they have STP, ECN, and ECN Plus, and so they have super great options for that, right? So you can trade with no commissions, and the spreads are a little bit higher, but you still get 1 to 500 leverage, and the minimum deposit is $10. Or you can trade with up to $1,000 minimum deposit, and you get incredibly tight spreads and only $1 per lot. And I'm Muslim, so if you guys are Muslim and you want to swing trade, there's an Islamic option as well, which is great. Fantastic. I mean, guys, it doesn't get cheaper and better than this, guys. And I've withdrew money from them. I've deposited money. Super quick experience. I really like Hanke Trade. So I'll put a link down below of my link to sign up for Hanke Trade. I am affiliated with them, guys. So if you want to sign up with Hanke Trade, please make sure to use the link down below in my description. And with that, guys, make sure to like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Peace out, guys.